The same jury that convicted Chad Daybell will be deciding whether he should be sentenced to death. The Doomsday author was convicted in the murders of his wife Lori Vallow's two kids, Tylee and JJ, who used to live right here in the Valley. He's also convicted of killing his first wife, Tammy Daybell. 12 News journalist Erica Stapleton's been on this case for more than 4 years. And Erica, it was another emotional day in court as the case moved into the sentencing phase.
Yeah, Tram, listening to the victim impact statements was heartbreaking. For the past 2 months, it's been about whether Chad Daybell is guilty or not. And now that he's been convicted, the focus is on the impact of those crimes. Chad Daybell turned down his opportunity to address the court. But this morning and into the afternoon, we heard from loved ones of Tammy Daybell, Tylee Ryan, and JJ Vallow, Tammy's siblings, talking about the immense loss they've been dealing with and how this has strained their relationship with Chad and Tammy's children and grandchildren. We heard from JJ's grandmother and Tylee's aunt talking about the lives and dreams JJ and Tylee will never have. We heard from Tylee and JJ's older brother, Colby Ryan. He's Lori Vallow's only living child and told the court that he's now fatherless, motherless, sisterless, and brotherless.
The only way I could describe the impact of their lives being lost is like a nuclear bomb dropping. I will never be able to share her gifts with the world, or have all the people who love her get to hear her incredible laugh. JJ will never get to grow up and share his one-of-a-kind personality with the world, and everyone who's lost him feels the void.
Tammy's murder is the direct cause of our suffering. This is the legacy of anguish and sorrow that will haunt our family for generations.
Of course, this is always so hard when you hear from the victims' families. We know that with the jury deliberating the death penalty, how is the sentencing phase different from when the judge hands down the sentence?
So, Tram, because this is a capital case, the death penalty is on the table. Idaho law says that it's the jury that must determine if Chad Daybell gets death penalty. And what they have to look at, this is something we heard the judge instructing jurors to do today after they heard from the victims and other statements made in court. He said for all the counts, they're looking at the murder and the conspiracy to commit first-degree murder counts is what they're considering the death penalty for. And they need to look to see if there are aggravating factors. If they find one aggravating factor for any of those, they must sentence Chad Daybell to death. So that's what they're really looking at. The stakes are extremely high.
Oh, wow. Okay, so again, just to be clear, who ultimately makes the decision on whether or not Daybell will get the death penalty?
So the experts I've talked to said it is the jury that makes the decision, but this is not the sentencing hearing. They're waiting after they make a decision. It will be the judge that ultimately imposes the sentence. But what I've been told is that the judge can't override what the jury decides today or potentially into the weekend.
Okay. All right. Erica, I know you've got much more coming up at 6 o'clock as well.
And I will say we've been waiting for the past couple of hours to see whether the jury might come back with that decision later today. It's something, as I said, they could go into the weekend, but it could also be something that wraps up in time. We'll just keep keeping an eye on it, and hopefully we'll have the latest for you here on 12 News.
Okay. Sounds good. Erica, thank you so much. Here